Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome in. I am so excited to be here. It is a lovely Tuesday. If you are watching this on the replay, you are watching live readings for Tuesday, October the 28th. Just as a reminder, I try to go live a couple times a week here on YouTube. Make sure that you set your notifications to on so that you know when I'm here. Readings are $25 US. You can pay that through Venmo or PayPal. There are direct links in the description of the video, or you can simply look me up on Venmo and PayPal as Consciously Erin. I am very, very excited to be here today. As always, it is a privilege to see everyone. So once everyone is in, I want you guys to say hello. Let me know who you are, where you are, how is your day going, how are things feeling for you today? It's a beautiful Tuesday. The sun is out. I mean, I just feel like the day is starting out wonderfully, you know? A nice, quiet, calm space, I guess. It's nice. It's nice. So welcome in, everyone. I'm so very excited to be here with you today on this Tuesday. If you are watching the replay, this is for live readings on Tuesday, October the 28th. Hello, hello. There you guys are. Hi, Marie. I see you. And you are first on the list. Let me say hello to my friends coming into the room. Hello, M. Ford. Hello, Holistic Harmony. Hello, Haley. Hello, Baby Bay, let it play. A Baby Bay, let it play. Is that what that says? Hello, good morning, Meta. Hello, hi, Kimber. Good morning, Jess. Good morning. Hello, hello. I'm so excited to be here with you guys. Do me a favor if you don't mind and like this live. That does help me. Remember, if you do purchase a reading, that there is a replay that comes up on my channel right after the live is over. It might take a minute for it to process, but it will be available to you. So go back and rewatch those later. I'm so glad that you're here to watch, Sandy. I'm just glad that you're here. Metal is joy. Got you. So glad to be here with you. Boy, I was messing that one all kinds of up. Marie, I'm excited to read for you, and you are first. Come on down and say hello. After Marie is Virginia. My list is still open. Readings are $25 US. Venmo and PayPal are available to you in the description of the video if you are interested in it. Hey, Leilani, I see you. You are on the list, my friend. V Root. All right, so you must be Virginia. You must be Virginia. Hi, Marie. I see you. Virginia, you are up right after Marie, so hang out, okay? All right, Marie. Marie Elliott, 4406. Hello, friend. I am so excited to be here with you. Hi, Like a Mom. So glad you're here this morning. Crystal, good morning. And Like a Mom can actually perfectly help you with that. All right, Marie. Friend, I love your energy. It's so fun today. All right, do me a favor. Take a nice, big, deep breath in all the way down to your toes. And release. Drop those shoulders and please give me permission to have access to your energy. So Marie, when I tap into your energy, the very first thing I saw, boy, it's going to be a day. The very first thing I saw was this very fluffy, light purple, lilac-y colored energy. It has the sense of like dream space, but has the lilac color of the crown, okay? So when I see this type of imagery, typically it's indication that your dream space is very active. Something to remember is your physical body needs rest. It's human. Your metaphysical body is pure energy and gets really bored laying there. So all night long, that energy is in and out, in and out, in and out, doing all kinds of jobs, right? You, my friend, are tapping into something currently, what I affectionately call night school. I don't know what other professionals call it. I call it night school. This is where you are learning something that is pertaining to something that's coming up for you, as if you are getting ready for, Stacy, I see you, as if you are getting ready for, Abby, I see you, sorry, I'll get to it, I promise. as if you're getting ready for the next phase, much like going to night school. When I see people in this phase, often their dreams come out garbled, or you don't remember them, or they don't make much sense. The point here is don't work too hard to try to figure it out. The reason it comes through that way is because what you're learning in night school doesn't apply to where you are right at this moment. Ooh, my ear is going off like crazy. It does not apply. Wow. It does not apply to what you're learning right where you are right now. Wow. Sorry. Holy cow. That was a hardcore confirmation. Like, that totally threw me off my game for a second. Came through hot, man. Anyway, this is also sometimes where your clear knowing comes from. You just know something in the moment is because you learned it in night school, right? Not everybody experiences it the same way, but I will tell you the most common things I hear when people are going through this phase is fitful sleep. Even if you wake up rested, you may have woken up many times during the night. Dreams that feel either really strange or you can't make sense of them, or very often people just don't remember the dreams at all. And it can be very frustrating, especially for someone who has always remembered their dreams. So don't get frustrated. This is just part of the process to help you integrate what you need to know and not overwhelm you when you don't need to know it. Crystal, I got you. I will update the list, you guys. Give me just a moment here, okay? All right, Marie, this is what my guides have to say in addition to everything else I have already said, all right? My guides want you to know you're about to take a journey, friend. You get the Fool card right out of the deck. This is a huge confirmation letting you know that you're getting ready for something that's coming up to you. They are reminding you to stay heart-centered and not to get too tied up to your brain trying to figure out what things are. You kind of have to just sort of allow this to flow forward, right? This is not about over-analyzing everything. This is about allowing yourself to integrate it when you're ready to receive it. My guides tell me this leads to a sense of victory in your energy. And the important thing about this card is this card has ownership to it. This is not someone did this for me. This is I did this myself. Ownership, right? My guides tell me this also is leading you to a new paradigm, asking you to see yourself and the world through the lens of source instead of the lens of man. They are asking for your patience because you do have to work through some things that are tied up in that root chakra, old beliefs or teachings that may be holding you down. They do tell me there are some triggers that are being pushed on right now to get you to let go of those things that have held you where you are, most specifically the doubt that you have. They want to confirm that you have a good, strong connection to that higher self. Your third eye is nice and strong, but you have to let go of the things that are holding you here. And this is like the third time that this has been said to you, so just saying. The Tower card is about letting go of something that you've built around you. My guide wants you to understand that your intuition is working. It is talking to you, absolutely moving you forward, but they have to tell you that your spiritual growth takes a minute. It's not going to materialize instantly. Again, they keep giving me the allow it to unfold, allow it to unfold, allow it to unfold. My guys do tell me that this leads to a sense of abundance for your family. This may not be winning the lottery, but this is definitely the feeling of having what you need when you need it, and a sense of a brighter future. Just finishing off that with a brighter future, which, I mean, Marie, for real, like, that's pretty amazing, everything they said. So I hope that resonates with you, and I hope that makes sense for you. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Let me update my list. Marie, thank you so much for allowing me to read for you. I appreciate you very, very much. All right. I'm going to update my list. Virginia, excuse me. Virginia is up next. And then Leilani, Stacy, Abby, and Crystal. That is the list that I have. Hey, Wade, good morning. Thank you, friend. I appreciate you so very much. Remember, list is still open. Please be patient with me. I have to make my way through the list. I take my time with everybody. The replay will be up on my YouTube channel. You can go back and watch it later just to get more information from it, okay? Good morning, Meta. All right, Virginia, you are up next, friend. Come on down and say hello. I'm very excited to read for you. We had a lot of energy yesterday. Hi, Vivian. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Readings are $25 US. Venmo and PayPal are available to you. Virginia, say hello. I know you're in here. Say hello, friend. You've been in here for a while, so I need to refocus on you. So say hello. If you feel like for some reason your comment is not being seen, you can tag my moderators. They can help you with any questions you have. They can direct you on payment or anything like that. Hey, thank you, Sandy. I actually got this off of TikTok. I do crochet, but I did not crochet this. I think I actually could. Looking at it, like I think I could, but I bought it before I knew how to crochet. But check out this shirt. Is this shirt not amazing? This is like straight out of the 70s, my style. I got it at a thrift store and I love it. Love it, love it, love it. All right, Virginia, say hello, Virginia. You're up. You are up. Thank you, thank you. Just so you guys know, I do have my little personal frequency device, right? I have my little personal frequency device broadcasting right now here, a great frequency. So it has a 3-foot radius, but I think energy is not confined by time and space. There you are, Virginia. I see you. V Root. I got you, friend. So as you're sitting here in the space with me, you are benefiting from this energy as well. Melissa, I see you. And you are also on that list. All right, Virginia, here we go. I'm going to focus in on your energy, friend. Do me a favor. Take a nice, big, deep breath in. And release. Drop your shoulders. And please give me permission to have access to your energy. So Virginia, it's really interesting. So remembering everything, guys, my guides always speak to me in metaphors and movie scenes. What I'm describing to you is what they're using to convey a message to me, and isn't always literal in nature, but I will describe to you what it means, okay? So Virginia, when I tap into your energy, the very first thing they gave me was a picture of someone who was walking on hot coals. And there's this feeling of having always walked on hot coals. This has this sense of never really being able to relax, constantly being, jumping foot to foot, always feeling like I have to move around. I see this sometimes with people who had a life experience where they're constantly feeling like they're trying to keep up, or that they aren't measuring up for some reason. Like I'm always dancing on hot coals. I do see, though, that they're showing me there's an end to this and you've stepped off of it. The problem is that you are so used to the way things used to be that you're still reacting like it's still there, right? So it also feels like there's been a change in your energy that has an effect in your physical environment, as if you've gone through a recent transition of some kind, where you have gone from somewhere where you feel like you were on hot coals all the time to somewhere where that's gone. But it hasn't been long enough for your physical nervous system to actually decompress itself a little bit. So you're still tightly wound, or feeling like, or anticipating like something's going to go wrong or something like that. I feel like when I look at your energy, they're showing me that this path is cleared out, that these hot coals have been moved or removed, or you got off of them. I don't know what happened, but you're not on them, so that's good. I do want to say, just physiologically, it takes time to reset your nervous system. You have to be patient with yourself and give yourself something to focus on and something to do, instead of ruminating in your head over and over about things that are over and done with, right? I shoulda, coulda, woulda. Yeah, we all could have done 100 different things. But the idea is start where you are now. It feels to me like your energy field is opened up, like you've moved out of a situation that wasn't exactly, I don't want to say it was terrible, but it didn't feel like it was super great for growth, right? And now you have all this room to grow, but you're holding yourself as if you're still there. So they're asking you to let yourself open up into the new freedom that you brought forward through whatever choices you made or work that you did. And I know it takes a minute for your nervous system to sort of re-regulate itself, but give it the opportunity. Don't fight against yourself, right? All right, Virginia, this is what my guides have to say in addition to everything else I've already said. First of all, they want to confirm that you are literally standing at the edge of massive potential. That field in front of you is full. It's ready for you to plant the seeds, but what grows there depends on the seeds that you plant. My guides are saying that you have walked away from something that felt like an ineffective team, right? Now, this is not a commentary on any of your personal relationships, but more a reflection of that feeling of being on hot coals. And they tell me, as you have walked away from this, you've opened space for your higher self to have a more clear communication with you. So they're asking you to let yourself relax and remember that not everything has to happen right now. Not everything has to happen in this moment. You have to give yourself some time to reacclimate to this new space that you find yourself in. This is going to include having better judgment about where you put your focus, not ruminating over things in the past, but giving yourself something constructive to focus on here that feels better. And again, it's not about ignoring your life. It's about finding better ways to focus, right? My guides tell me this is how you're going to keep yourself in balance and start to really manifest something better into your physical reality. They also want you to understand that your creative vision matters. Your creativity is important. It's what fosters that sense of fullness, that sense of connection, that sense of who I am. All of that is easily felt through your sense of creativity, whatever that looks like. That can be creating a work of art, crocheting a sweater, painting your house, organizing your closet. It doesn't matter. If you feel creative, that's what matters. My guides are asking you to do a little bit of self-evaluation so that you can see where you are focusing more on the chaos outside of you than the peace that you're trying to foster within you. And they just want to remind you that you're heading into a place that feels like celebration, a sense of belonging, a sense of relaxation. All of that is there for you, but you have to give yourself time to sort of acclimate to it. You know, you have to kind of relax into it. You can't force it to happen. Virginia, thank you, friend. Thank you so much for allowing me to read for you. I hope it was helpful. I appreciate it very, very much. If you are just stopping by, welcome, friends. My name is Erin. I'm a frequency and clarity coach, and I am here offering clarity through oracle card readings. These are pretty detailed, general, energetic readings. If you would like them, readings are $25 US, payable through Venmo or PayPal. Once you send a payment, I get a notification. You go on the list. I go in order of the list. There is a replay at the end of the live that will be on my channel, so you can go back and watch it for later. Now, good morning, friend. Hello, Jacqueline. Welcome. All right, so just to update the list real quick, Leilani's up next, and then Stacy, Abby, Crystal, and Melissa. So Leilani, you are up next. Every time I say your name or hear your name, it just transports me to this tropical paradise, and I feel like I have flowers in my hair and I can smell the salt air. It just immediately brings that sense forward to me. And while I know nothing about you, that's how my energy connects to you, is a feeling of ocean and freedom and being outside in the sun and joyfulness and flowers and fragrance and all these wonderful feels. And I think it's important for me to tell you that today. I don't know if you're having a day or you're gonna have a day, or there's something you have to deal with today that makes you question yourself, but I felt very important to tell you that every single time I connect to your energy, that's what they give me. And that's rare, friend. That's not something that happens to me very often. Okay, so I just felt like you needed to know that. Thank you, Melody. Grand Rising, Miss Gilopont. Hi, Chrissy. Good morning. I'm so glad you're here. I'm feeling very 70s today, you guys. So readings are $25. They're pretty in-depth readings. You should hang out and watch because they're pretty great. Leilani, you are next. Say hello, friend. I hope you heard that whole message I gave you. You're next. Just so you guys know, I have launched my school community. It has 2 free courses on it right now. Free to join, free courses. One on the Schumann and one on everyday energy. Leilani, hello. You can find it under the school platform if you search for me, or there's a link in my Linktree. I don't think there's a link in the notes for this video. I will fix that for next time. But these classes are free, you guys. I am going to have a 10-course frequency foundations, a 10-unit frequency foundation course that I will be releasing. So keep an eye open for that too. All right, Leilani, good morning. All right, I got you, friend. Here we go. Do me a favor. Take a nice, big, deep breath in all the way down to your toes. And release. Drop your shoulders, and please give me permission to have access to your energy. Remembering, of course, movie scenes and metaphors. Leilani, always, the first thing they show me with you is the ocean. I see you, though, standing at the edge of the shoreline. So you're on the sand, but the water is almost reaching you, okay? And there's a sense of looking out over the ocean, and I feel like I'm looking at someone in deep contemplation, right? Looking out over the ocean. There's no fear here. There's no worry here. There's more of a thought happening. Like I'm mulling over an idea is what she looks like, okay? So there's a lot of symbolism in this for me. First of all, being on the shore and not in the water tells me that emotion is close at hand with whatever you're thinking about but hasn't yet reached you. And I think the deeper you get into this thought process, the more that emotion has the possibility of reaching you. The emotion may be one of doubt. It may be one of excitement. I can't really tell because you're not in it, so I can't feel it, right? The contemplation and looking out at the ocean, you're looking at the horizon and not at the water. So there's this sense of going beyond where I find myself, but also having this space in between that I may not necessarily know how to get across, right? Like I may not know how to go from where I am to the horizon. And I think that's the question that's being thought about, right? I also can tell you the horizon has what looks like a sunrise starting to come up from it. It is just barely there, not yet breaking the horizon, but sunrises are always an indication of a new beginning for me. I feel like whatever you're thinking about doing or considering or wanting to do brings about a sunrise into your energy, a new start to something. The thing that's holding you back feels like you're trying to figure out how to get from here to there. Friend, you got to build the boat. Nobody's going to give it to you. You got to build it. So what does that look like? It looks like following to the best of your ability the things that help you feel excited about what you want to do and where you want to go. Tracy, I see you. You know, if you're excited about writing, then write. Don't tell yourself you can only write if you write a novel. Write 3 sentences and call yourself a writer. What are you worried about semantics for? You have to get around that. You have to get around the stuff that you tell yourself so that you can tap into the energy you want to feel. As you do this, law of attraction works with you to bring reflections of that and reasons to continue to feel that way. That's how we work with law of attraction instead of fight against it, right? All right, Leilani, this is what my guides have to say in addition to everything else I've already said. All right, so as you're standing on this shore, they tell me you're looking out towards this shoreline and you're looking for some sort of truth of self. Like, I want to go somewhere, but I don't know how to get there. But you're looking for someone else to give you the answer. And what my guides, I love this confirmation. Can we just say amen to this? What my guides want you to understand is you have to build the boat. Nobody's coming to give it to you. No one's going to save you. You can do this. You just have to figure out how. And you are perfectly capable of being able to do it, or you would not want to do it. Okay? My guides do show me that there is water in here. The potential for emotion is in this, but they also tell me there is a lot of potential for smooth sailing. Whatever you're worried about with your finances, they're asking you not to make it the centerpiece of your day and not to focus so hard on it, because when you do that, you slow down the momentum of the other things that are trying to reach you. Instead, they're asking you to get rebalanced in that heart space so that you can actually hear the clarity that's being offered to you through your higher self. This brings with it a feeling of renewal, even though you may find yourself feeling vulnerable in the moment. My guides confirm that you might be feeling a little bit out of balance right now, but that's because you're telling yourself you don't know how to get from here to there, and that's not necessarily true. Not knowing how and not being able are not the same thing. You can learn anything and give yourself permission to understand that. My guides tell me that as you take these steps, it leads to a feeling of liberation in your energy, and there's that confirmation, a new beginning on the horizon. I can't tell you exactly what it is because it hasn't broken the horizon yet, but it definitely has the confirmation of being there, and it brings with it a sense of being victorious, a sense of accomplishment. I did this. I set this up. I accomplished this. That's what comes with this. But again, it's like you're contemplating something and they're asking you to take some steps. Instead of just thinking about it, take some steps, do something to move yourself forward. Follow that inspiration to the best of your ability. Leilani, thank you so much for allowing me to read for you. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Stacy is up next. Leilani, I hope that was helpful, friend. Thank you so much for allowing me to read for you. I appreciate it. Stacy, you're up next. And then Abby, Crystal, Melissa, and Tracy. List is still open. Just please be patient with me as I make my way through the list. Remember that when you purchase the list here, you can always go back and watch it later on YouTube to get more understanding. I encourage you to watch it several times. Hi, I'm here. I got you, friend. I got you, Stacy. I got you, girl. Let me get a sip of water real quick. Let me get a sippa. All right. Ooh, excuse me. All right, Stacy, do me a favor. Take a nice, big, deep breath in all the way down to your toes. And release. Drop your shoulders. And please give me permission to have access to your energy. All right, so Stacy, when I tap into your energy, I'm gonna have trouble with that word today. The very first thing I saw was a big open green field. Imagine a slightly overgrown meadow, right? Not a lawn with weeds, but a meadow that has this beautiful flow of green grass and some wildflowers. I see butterflies. It's very serene. I feel like it's warm outside. The more I push into the energy, the more I can see it. So there's a lot of yellow in this space. There's a lot of yellow flowers. There's a couple of yellow butterflies. I feel like the sun is high in the sky. And I feel like I'm sort of walking through this field, my hands out, brushing across the top of the grass, right? I have no sense of urgency. I have no sense, I feel very calm, as a matter of fact, actually. It's quite lovely. There's a lot of symbolism here that I want to talk about. First of all, the color green is the color of the heart, but it's also the color of healing. You're walking through a field of green, which lets me know that you've done a lot of work, a lot of healing on yourself, but you're still sort of walking through it. Not that healing is ever really done per se, but it's like you're still kind of working on things, but the fact that there's no sense of urgency, no sense of sadness, grief, heaviness, none of that is here. So the healing work that you're doing feels very productive in nature. It feels like it's opened a door for you. It feels like it's helping you like assess something that gives you a greater feeling of comfort, I guess. The yellow in this space is has to do with your solar plexus. This is, I just got super dizzy for a second. Has to do with your solar plexus. This is the seat of how you see yourself in the world and the home to your creative expression, all right? When I push into this space, there's a blooming happening here, as if all the healing work that you're doing is allowing these little flowers to finally grow in this space, right? These little flowers represent the truest version of you, this resonance with who you really are. And I feel like there's little peaks of this starting to pop up in this healing space. And it feels like for a while these have been underground, like they're bulbs you planted in the winter, and then winter was 18 years long. And now the bulbs are like, oh, thank God we can grow. You know, there's this sense of that. I do feel like this is a slow process. This is not an instant becoming of self. This is a slow unfolding of self. And I do feel like you're well on your way in the process of this. It is okay to stop and smell the flowers. It is okay to feel good in the space where you are. As a matter of fact, the more you allow yourself to feel good where you are, the more you give law of attraction to work with to bring you reflections for reasons to feel good where you are, right? Remembering, of course, that there is no time other than the present moment. Past and future are pretend. Doesn't mean it didn't happen in the past, but it's not happening right now. It doesn't mean it won't happen in the future, but it's not happening right now. So do yourself a favor and find a way to be as present in your moment as you can, because they're showing me that these little pieces of evidence of you becoming this greater version of self, these little feelings of inspiration, this little, like, all these little synchronicities, these are happening in the moment. They're not happening down the road. They're happening in the moment. Alicia, I see you. I know why you're worried. All right, Stacy. Here we go. This is what my guides have to say in addition to everything else I've already said. Number one, they want you to understand that whatever you're worried about with your finances, you're going to be okay. It doesn't mean that you're going to win the lottery, but it does mean you're going to have what you need to have when you need it. So they're asking you to try to relax a little bit and not make this the main worry. Don't allow this to play out in your mind all day long. When you get too focused, when you get too focused on the practicality of things, it pulls you out of resonance with your true self. And this is not telling you to ignore the world around you, not by any stretch of the imagination. But I'm telling you, don't live 3 weeks in the future. If there's something that is happening in 3 weeks that you literally can do nothing about, stop living in that future space. Instead, they want you to turn your focus back towards you. They need you to get out of this feeling of being overwhelmed and welcome in this feeling of healing that your heart space is opened up. They want you to do that introspection, to slow down into the present moment so that you can see these little pieces of inspiration that are being offered to you. You are absolutely making progress. And I know sometimes it can feel like you're not, but I need to remind you that you have had to let go and move beyond a lot of teachings that you held on to for a lot of years. So that's going to take a hot second. It's not going to be immediate, right? My guides are asking you, please continue to believe in yourself, even when the energy outside of you is chaotic. Especially when the energy outside of you is chaotic, because what that does is that creates an anchor created out of your authentic self that you can turn back to, and then you are the center of the hurricane instead of the outside edges. Stacy, thank you so much for allowing me to read for you. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. I hope it was helpful, my friend. Remember, the replay will be on YouTube later. I appreciate it. Abby, you are up next. Stacy, thank you again. I appreciate it. I hope it was helpful, friend. Abby, you're next. Crystal is up after Abby. So we've got Abby, Crystal, Melissa, Tracy, Stephanie, and Alicia. I still have spots available. Please be patient. I see you. Thank you, friend. I appreciate you very, very much. Remember, those 2 free classes on my school classroom, you should go check them out. They're like 20 minutes each. You can totally do it. It's self-paced. It has a written text version, like a PDF, and a video. So no matter what kind of learner you are, I'm covering the bases. All right, Abby. A baby, let it play. Got it. Love it. Love it. Abby, I just saw wings, girl. You getting ready to take off. Here we go. Do me a favor, Abby. Take a nice, big, deep breath in all the way down to your toes. And release. Drop your shoulders, and please give me permission to have access to your energy. I want to rephrase what I just said. All right, so Abby, when I come into your energy, the first thing my guide showed me was a pair of wings. And I said, boy, you're about to take off, or girl, you're about to take off. This is going to be amazing. Oh my gosh, like that's what I'm thinking. As I push into your energy, no, you've already taken off. Here's the problem, is I feel like you are... It's almost like you can't see the forest for the trees. Tessa, I see you. I don't know how to say this more nicely, right? But what my guides are showing me is that where you are right now is where you wanted to be a year ago or whatever. And while not everything looks the way you wanted to, there are many aspects of your life that have started to change and reflect this inner work that you've been doing. They show me that you have a strong and distinct connection to your crown, and that you have that frequency that you're receiving all day long. The choice is yours on what you listen to and what you do with it, right? I also feel like because this has become, for lack of a better term, more normal for you, that it takes something bigger than what it used to actually make you see, oh, this is happening for me, or something. It's almost like you get acclimated. It's like when you first get in a really cold pool, it's really cold, but the longer you're in it, the less cold it is, the more used to it you get, and it takes an infusion of new cold water for you to actually go, oh my gosh, the water's cold. You see what I'm saying? I feel like because you've been working on yourself and attuning for a while, because you have this strong open connection, it's going to take a little bit more to blow your socks off than it used to, right? That doesn't mean that you're not moving forward. It means that you're sort of getting lost in things a little bit, and that's not in a bad way. Just, it's like I'm so used to flying that I forget that I didn't used to, you know? I do want to confirm for you, you have a very strong connection to your source. Your crown is pretty open. I don't typically see people walking around with open crowns, but you also have a super active root, which typically when your poles are active like that, it's a sign of being pretty balanced, pretty equal, right? Like you don't have any chakras that are really playing with each other or pushing too hard. They're pretty open on both ends. When you have an open crown like you do, I like to see the root open like this just for the balance aspect of it. There is a sense of like maybe being a little bit wobbly in that space, like maybe you've been questioning yourself or have some doubt that's been popping up, maybe some imposter syndrome or something, and that's made your root a little bit wobbly. They're just showing me that this is like some old shadow, some old remnant that's being let go. And it feels like a trigger that came up that was old, not new, like an old trigger that happened again. Something like, I felt like I was over this, and then it happened, and you're like, oh my gosh, I totally reacted. Yes, okay, well, that happened to me too. I think that's happening to a lot of people, actually. And it's very purposeful, very, very purposeful. All right, Abby, I got totally lost in my channel there for a second, so hopefully you got all that, or you can go back and watch that later, because I have zero idea what I just said. All right, Abby, this is what my guides have to say in addition to everything else I already said, whatever it is. My guides want you to understand that you are going through a transition. This is the death card. The old version of you is dying away and a new version is coming forward. They want you to understand that this is happening. During this time, what the worst thing you can do is try to control what's happening. There's this feeling of like old triggers coming up. Is that what I said? Old triggers coming up and having a reaction, thinking to myself, I thought I was over this. Okay, I thought I was over this, but then it's still there. This is just getting the last little remnants of whatever this is out of your space, because frequency-wise, you're moving up like this. You have to let go of all the tethers that have held you in this space. And every little one, every little trigger is going to get pulled until you stop being reactive. When you stop being reactive, you've moved beyond it. Not because you're ignoring it, but because you've worked through it, right? That was a lot. My guides want you to understand that this has a physical manifestation. This change, this like transition that you're going through, you will see evidence of this in your physical life. They say you do a good job of being balanced in that spiritual side, and they're acknowledging a little bit of wobble down in that root. Again, I think this is related to some sort of triggers that keep coming up that used to be old. They want to confirm that you have a good, strong connection to your higher self, and they're asking you to follow your inspiration to the best of your ability. They want to also confirm that you have a nice open crown, and they want to tell you that sometimes it's better for you to do introspection than to go go outside, so that you can hear yourself. They tell me that whatever it is that you're going through, this transition is leading to a place where you will feel like you belong instead of feeling like you have to fit in. And it also has a sense of celebration around it. But I feel like you're kind of in the middle of that right now. And they're kind of asking you to remember that everything that's happening, everything that you have now, and everything you're going through now are things that you wanted before. And you're making more progress than you're giving yourself credit for, because in the moment you're focused micro, and they want you to expand and macro look at things and see the bigger picture just a little bit. Abby, thank you so much for allowing me to read for you, friend. I appreciate you. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Abby. I hope it was helpful. Crystal, you are up next. After Crystal is Melissa, Tracy, Stephanie, Alicia, and Tessa. I do have spots still available. Please remember to be patient with me as I make my way through the list, and all replays will be on my YouTube channel later. If you are just joining me, I'm glad you're here. My name is Erin. I'm a frequency and clarity coach, and I am offering clarity to you through the use of my tarot cards. Well, good. I'm so glad, friend. Thank you so much. Crystal, you are up. I see you. There you are. Crystal Godfrey. Hello, friend. 8531. I'm so excited to read for you. Thank you for the opportunity. Woo, my incense. I just saw a huge thing of smoke go right in front of me. I do have incense burning, but it's literally across the room. So there's some movement in the energy around you, friend. I'm excited about that. All right. Okay, Dan, here we go. Crystal, do me a favor. Take a nice, big, deep breath in all the way down your toes. And release. Drop your shoulders. And please give me permission to have access to your energy. So, Crystal, when I tap into your energy, the very first thing I see is the color orange, and I love this. It is this beautiful, rich color orange. There is nothing pastel about this, which tells me it's highly active. Orange is the color of the sacral chakra. This is the home to the name tags we wear, the roles we fulfill, and the relationships that form as a result of this. You, my friend, have outgrown a role that you've been filling for a long time. They're literally showing me the image of you standing in front of this big open like wardrobe, and it's full of all these different uniforms, right? These uniforms representing the different roles and name tags that we can play. And you're standing in front of this. The uniform that you are wearing is so raggedy and torn and too small and just done. And it feels like it took a while for you to recognize that you kept wearing this role even though you knew you had outgrown it, right? But a recognition has happened, and they say now you have this big open field, but it's almost like you have this ADHD paralysis. I have so many choices, I don't know what to do, right? And that's fair, I understand that, especially if you've been trying to fulfill one role for a long time. What I will tell you, friend, is that anything you want to do, you can absolutely do it. It doesn't mean that it won't require action on your end, but you would not desire it to be so if it wasn't possible for you. You just wouldn't. That's just how your energy works. So that vision you have of yourself in that role that you see, that you are telling yourself, well, that could never happen. I could never do that. That would never work. I promise you it can, but you have to allow yourself to recognize that it's not going to be instant. There are things in your behavior and your belief system that have to change to bring in the opportunities, and then you have to be willing to actually take the opportunity, right? If someone comes to you and says, if you want to be a public speaker and someone comes to you and says, hey, I'm throwing this charity event and it's an unpaid thing, but I'd really love for you to say a few words, and you dismiss it as no big deal because you're not going to make any money, it's a small group, that's wrong. You have to take every opportunity that's presented to you, because each opportunity leads to a bigger one, right? It's like the building of energy building up on itself, right? There's a lot of things that I do for free, and the reason I do that is because I understand that it builds momentum behind the good feeling I want to produce. So I'm not telling you to do stuff for free, but I am saying when the opportunities are presented to you, don't dismiss them out of hand. Give yourself a minute to really consider what this is opening up for you, and then allow yourself to step into the role. You don't have to know how to do everything right now. Just you have to know how to take one step. That's it. Just one step. And then you worry about the next one. And then you worry about the next one step at a time. All right? Crystal, this is what my guides have to say in addition to everything else I've already said. And I love it when I get these confirmations, first card out of the deck for you. They're telling me it's up to you, friend. It's up to you to put the work in. You are at a cross section where you can step into a whole new role for yourself, but you have to take steps into that inspired action. This may require you to confront some things that you thought you knew about yourself, or some plans that you thought you had, or even other people who don't necessarily like the idea of you doing something for yourself. My guides tell me, though, that this leads to a brighter future. It absolutely takes you somewhere better. The butterflies in the space are an indication that there's changes that come forward, a transformational process. My guides want you to understand that you have a good, strong connection to your higher self when you allow yourself to listen to it, and that the restlessness you feel is simply because you're closer to where you're going than where you are. There's a little bit of wobble in your root chakra because you are moving into a new role, and there's this sort of feeling of, I don't know what to do next, so I'm sort of panicking about it, and they want you to relax into the situation. You are literally going into new horizons, which means there's no way for you to plan for it because you don't know what to expect. Expect the best. That's what you expect. Expect the best. My guides tell me that there is emotion involved in this, but you may have to give yourself permission to get through the emotion, right? This leads to a sense of liberation in your energy and a sense of getting back to that youthful excitement, right? I'm excited about things in my life. I'm excited about the opportunities I have. My guides tell me that the Wheel of Fortune has spun around and is facing in your direction, absolutely, bringing in new opportunities. And your sacral chakra is a big part of this. There's that confirmation again. They also want you to understand that you will feel better. You will feel victorious in this. This has a sense of ownership in it. Like, I did this. Nobody did this for me. I did this myself. It's about just taking a step and not getting overcomplicated in which step. Just take a step that feels right. And even if there are some people who don't agree with you, that's okay. They don't have to. But don't let them define the steps that you take. Crystal, thank you very much, friend, for allowing me to read for you. I appreciate you so much. Hello, hello. Prepare for the best. Absolutely. Expect the best. Walk into the room like you designed that space. Walk into the room like you own everything. You walk into the room like you own it. Clara, readings are $25. Venmo and PayPal are available to you if you would like one. I also have a list, so I encourage you to get on the list if you're interested. It just gets longer. So, Melissa, you are up next. Crystal, thank you again. I appreciate you so very much, friend. Thank you very much. Thank you. Melissa, you are up. After Melissa is Tracy, Stephanie, Alicia. I almost did it. Alicia and Tessa. There you are. M. Wells, I got you. So excited to see you, my friend. Thank you so much for the opportunity. You guys, my new glasses are so stinking cute. I just can't see the computer. I mean, I can, but I have to hold my head in such a, like here, to see that clearly. Here it's blurry. It's a little bit better here, but it's the best down here, so bummer, right? They are great though for crocheting. All right, Melissa, sorry. I didn't mean to get off track. I apologize. Here we go. All right, Melissa, do me a favor, friend. Take a nice, big, deep breath in all the way down to your toes. And release. Drop your shoulders. And please give me permission to have access to your energy. Interesting, Melissa, that other person asked about their throat chakra, and when I tap into you, I get this huge flush of energy right in this area, right? So, Melissa, when I come into your energy, the first thing I saw was this beautiful soft pink of the high heart. This is your empathy shining through. Friend, you are a beautiful and talented, gifted empath. This is one of your strongest clairs, not your only, but one of your strongest clairs. It feeds your other clairs. It informs your other clairs. You sense things through feeling first. And it feels like this is a reminder to you that that's important to remember. Trust that gut feeling. Trust that feeling when you walk in the room. Trust that feeling when you start a conversation and you get that twisty gut feeling. My guides seem to want to bring that to the forefront, remind you that that's one of the easiest ways that you can pick up on the situation around you, okay? I don't know if you've been having like sticky situations or something, but there's this feeling of wanting to remind you to protect your energy. Not like you're being psychically attacked. That's not what I'm saying. But the idea of perhaps you have found yourself in situations recently that have overwhelmed your energy. Like for me, that looks like going to Walmart. No, thank you. But it can be whatever it is for you, right? There's a sense of being slightly overwhelmed in my energy recently, okay? And a sense of wanting to remind you that your empathy is one of your strongest clairs and it's always projecting. So you're going to pick up on the energy around you very, very easily. And while that does inform your other clairs, it's important that you get a balance going on here. If you're having a particularly vulnerable feeling day, that is not the day to go grocery shopping. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, I feel like I want to remind you to just be a little bit more mindful with your energy and remember that it's okay to say no to things. That's a complete sentence also, by the way. You can put a period at the end of that if you would like. And the idea that I don't want you to ignore the world around you, but as a sensitive person, you have to be okay with understanding that some days are going to be harder than others. And that's part of the journey, is learning to work with and balance that energy for yourself, right? But on the days when it's difficult, you cannot beat yourself up and tell yourself shoulda, woulda, coulda, because then you're just gonna bring it down, right? Remember that we all have a personal frequency. We all have a biofield. That biofield is affected by the things that we focus on, the things that we consume with our eyes, with our ears, with our mouth. It's our everything around us influences this biofield. That biofield in return influences your physical environment. So you will feel it first through your emotions. Pay attention. Golly. Melissa, they really want you to understand your emotions are important. So there's somewhere that you're not listening to them, that they really want you to pay attention to it, okay? And the first card out of the deck. Seriously? All right. Melissa, this is what my guides have to say in addition to everything they have already said. They're asking you to reassess something that you have pushed aside, an emotion that you felt about. I don't know if you started to have an interaction with someone and you felt it. Jamie, I see you. Or if you've been in a group or something they're saying that you have received like emotional insight on that you're not listening to, and they're like, friend, what are you doing? Don't do that. They're asking you instead to reevaluate this, because when you do, it will bring you out of a state of self-defeat that you tend to find yourself in and bring you back into a state of inspiration. My guides tell me that they are acknowledging there's a little bit of dissension around you, like something doesn't feel right, and they're also asking you to turn towards yourself to figure out what this is. Again, that feeling of wanting you to allow yourself to listen to that inner feel that you got, right? My guides are asking you to have some compassion for yourself as you make your way through some of these changes that are coming forward. Again, with learning to interact with, listen to, and implement your intuition. This is a practice that all of us have to do. It's not it takes practice, basically. They do want to confirm, though, that you are on the path of spiritual growth and you are walking into a place where you will feel more like yourself. But to get there, you have to go through whatever this little tower moment is. Again, that feeling of wanting you to listen to your intuition, really wanting to encourage that in you. This feels like a little bit of a tower moment, like letting go of that feeling that I can't trust my intuition, or I shouldn't trust it, or something in there. They keep bringing me right back to that feeling of you've got to let yourself trust that. Welcome back. Melissa, thank you so much, friend, for allowing me to read for you. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Woo, I appreciate it. All right. I think there's going to be I'm going to pick like an evening to do readings on here, one evening. I can't do it every week, but I'm going to try to pick one evening a month and make it my regular evening readings on YouTube. I have to think about it, but that's what I'm thinking about doing. Just so that people who are working in the day, maybe give them a little bit of an opportunity, right? Bobby, I see you and you are on the list, my friend. Melissa, thank you again for allowing me to read for you. I appreciate it. Thank you so very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Tracy, you are up next. Oh, awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I think I'm going to try to pick an evening to do it. Hello, Star Angela. I see you. Welcome. Come on down, Tracy. You are up next. If your display name is not Tracy, make sure you let me know. Jamie, you are on the list, friend. I got you. So let me update the list. Tracy is up now, and then Stephanie, Alicia, Tess, Jamie, and Bobby. That is the list. You've been waiting for me to do that? Yeah. I have to pick a day where I don't have anything else going on during the day, because I can't start out readings depleted, like energetically depleted. I have to start out at a good balance. That's why I do them in the morning. You know what I mean? Hi, Stephanie. Awesome. You are up right after Tracy. Yes, there you are. I see you, Tracy. I got you. TC Davis, 3388. Love the numbers. I see you and I got you. And Stephanie, you are right after Tracy, friend. Thank you again for all your patience. Please remember the replay will be up. You can go back and rewatch these later. Do me a favor and like the live if you haven't. Yes, and hubby is home, which makes it really hard because he's constantly interrupting me. Love him so much. All right, Tracy, here we go. All right, Tracy, do me a favor. Take a nice big deep breath in all the way down to your toes. And release. Drop your shoulders and please give me permission to have access to your energy. So just a reminder to everyone, my guides speak to me in metaphors and movie scenes. Tracy, when I come into your energy, the very first thing I see is someone putting on hip waders. That's an interesting. So my dad used to fish a lot, and he had these big giant rubber boots that came up mid-thigh, and he called them hip waders, and he used them when he was going to go fishing standing in a river, right? To keep himself from getting drowned out or anything like that, right? You're putting on these hip waders, and there's this feeling of you're about to wade into something that you need to keep yourself protected from in some sort of way. As if you're about to go into a really dirty pigsty and muck it out. And you got to put these things on and protect yourself. I feel very strongly like you are about to go through. It feels very close in your energy. And I want to be clear. I don't think this is like necessarily something that surprises you out of the blue or takes you by surprise. This feels like something you've seen coming. This is something you have to deal with, that I feel like you got to put on your big girl pants and you're going to have to put on your hip waders and just get in there and do it, right? Very much that feeling of just get in there and do it, okay? I feel like there is a strong current with this, and there's a feeling of make sure you keep your balance, keep your hip waders on. Again, I'm trying to describe the scenery that I'm getting. This feels, again, it doesn't at all feel like a surprise. It feels like something I know I need to deal with. It also feels like it has a very physical representation. So maybe this is a job, a relationship, or something that you are part of that you know you need to address. You know you need to do it. And there's this feeling of putting it off, putting it off, putting it off, because maybe it's not giant in your field, but it's like a rock in your shoe, okay? You've come to a point where this needs to be addressed. And I understand that there's this reluctance to address it, and I don't know what the reluctance is, other than when I look at it, it's a mess. And there's this feeling of just needing to put on these big giant hip waders and sort of make my way into the space. You know what I'm saying? But I do feel like once you clear this out, it opens up your energy for all this new stuff to come in. And I do feel like there are new opportunities physically in your environment that presented themselves because of the like clearing out of this. I kind of feel like you're standing in a place where nothing new can come in because it's full of old shite, right? And there's this feeling of if you just go in here, you know, just do it. Just get in there and clear it out. You'll feel better, A. B, you make room for new to come forward. C, it opens the door for opportunities to find you. And while you may be stinky and gross and feel icky while you're doing it, you will feel tremendously better on the other side of it. So again, this feels like something in your physical environment. I don't know specifically what it is, but it isn't a surprise at all. It just has this sense of, I need to deal with this. I need to stop putting this off and deal with it, all right? Tracy, this is what my guides have to say in addition to everything else I've already said. I love the confirmation in the very first card. They tell me, put on your big girl pants and go deal with this. You might have to step outside of your comfort zone to do that, but when you do, it will lead to a feeling of liberation. It will get you unstuck, okay? My guides tell me that it actually opens you up to brand new horizons, places you've never been before, opportunities that are available to you, but you have to get rid of whatever this is that's clogging the works up. The way you do that is stay balanced as you walk into whatever this is that you're addressing. Don't let it knock you off kilter. Don't let it weigh you down. Don't let it tip over the top of your boots, right? This is where you find your balance, is getting rid of this, right? My guides tell me that this opens up the wheel of fortune and gets it focused in your direction and the winds of change pushing at your back. They do tell me there's a little bit of a tower moment in here, but again, this does not feel like something unexpected. It absolutely feels like something that you see coming, but you've been putting it off. They're asking you to be selfish enough to address this, to move forward with that, right? I do feel like it opens the door for you, Tracy. Jamie, I see your comment. You keep saying the same thing, and I keep telling you that you're on the list. So please, Jamie, be patient. I see you. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it incorrectly. Is it Jaime? I don't know. But you are on the list. I need you to be patient, friend. I see you constantly dropping that in there. You're on there. I promise you. I promise you, you're on the list. Tracy, thank you so much for allowing me to read for you. I appreciate it. I'm sorry. It was incredibly distracting to have that, and I'm trying to stay as focused as I can. Yes, please don't continue to just post and post and post the same question. It just doesn't, you know, you didn't hear my audio is breaking up. Okay. Well, I appreciate that, and I just want you to know you are on the list. There's just several people ahead of you. I did not make the sweater. I bought this sweater before I knew how to crochet. Looking at it though, I could totally make this. This is just like granny clusters and a connection. Like I can totally make this. It might take me a minute to figure it out. I can totes my guts. Well, thank you, friend. I appreciate it. I actually got it off of TikTok. Thank you. All right, Stephanie, you're next, friend. So let's update the list. Stephanie is next, then Alicia, Tessa, Jamie, and Bobby. Okay, and Laura. Laura, you're on there after Bobby. All right, please remember that you can go back and rewatch your reading. Later on, after the live is done, it will be reposted. Right? Like now that I know how to crochet. Laura, yes ma'am, I got you, friend. You are on the list. You are on the list. I promise it. Stephanie is up next. Then Alicia, Tessa, Jamie, Bobby, and Laura. That is the list so far. I do have spots still available, but you guys, you gotta be patient with me as I make my way through the list, all right? Stephanie, nice to meet you, Hope. Welcome in. Stephanie, say hello, friend. I am excited to read for you. It is your turn. Come on down. Do me a favor, if you have not liked this live, please do that. It does help me. Hi, Gabby. Spider 4002. Is that you? Hi, yeah, that's what I thought. All right, Stephanie. I'm excited to read for you, friend. Thank you so much for your time, for your attention, your patience, and your permission. It's always a privilege, always. Here we go. All right, Stephanie, do me a favor. Take a nice, big, deep breath in all the way down to your toes. And release. Drop your shoulders. Please give me permission to have access to your energy. Boy, your energy just brought me right down. Oh, it's so soft and lovely. I'm going to be honest, Stephanie, when I do readings for people like you, sometimes it makes me very nervous because there's nothing that I can point to and say, you need to work on this, or this is what's happening, blah, blah, blah. Your energy is good, friend. You look so good. Your energy is soft. It's in a communicative style, meaning all of your chakras are talking to each other. I don't see any blockages, holdups, slowdowns, traffic jams, none of that, right? It is in a soft state of flow. So sometimes when we are in this state, we can start to make ourselves anxious, getting in our heads and make ourselves anxious because we don't see a lot of things like happening outside of us or popping off or whatever you want to call it, right? But the idea is that you've gotten yourself into a state of flow. And so as things come forward into your reality, they will feel natural as they come forward. They're not going to feel like big, giant, oh my God moments. They're going to feel like, of course that happened. Why wouldn't it, right? That's the feeling you're going to get. My guides are really, really pointing to the idea that you've done a lot of work on yourself. You've gotten yourself pretty well aligned, and that you're just in this state of sort of being aligned, right? They are showing me a watch and telling me to tell you to have patience as if there is something new that's coming up, starting to develop. They're also showing me, now crochet, they use crochet a lot to talk to me. They're showing me a bunch of stitches that are being worked loose, like they're too tight. As if there's some belief or teaching that you're still kind of letting go of or just starting to move outside of. This feels like something to do with speaking up or projecting in some way, something to do with your throat chakra, something about the teachings or beliefs, something about that. And then throat chakra is not super clear because it's out of focus for me. I mean, honestly though, your energy looks good. It looks good. It's in flow. There's no sense of needing to rush or repair anything. There's no sense of, I mean, I just feel like you're in a state where it may feel like you're not making any progress, but you are. Because you're in a flow state, it's not happening like big explosive moments, just natural progressive moments, but you're still making progress. You know, it's like driving in the desert. The image they're giving me is driving in the desert. When the scenery doesn't change, it can feel like you've been sitting still, but you're still crossing the desert. You know what I mean? All right. Stephanie, this is what my guides have to say in addition to everything else I have already said. First of all, they want you to understand that there's some sort of new role coming to the surface for you. And again, that state of being in a place of relaxation is allowing this to come forward. This new role feels like it's more focused and more connected to an authentic version of you. It also brings with it a feeling of self-sufficiency. So this could be the idea of going out on your own or working for yourself or some sort of promotion, raise, or otherwise. Something to do with that feeling of self-sufficiency. Okay, that's definitely in here. My guides are asking you to focus more on yourself during this time and not put all of your attention outside of you, because when your attention is outside of you, that's when you feel like you're not making any progress when you actually are. Okay, so my guides want to remind you that you have all the inner strength you need to get through what's coming up for you, and they also want you to understand that you are walking into a brand new beginning. They're just, again, it's this feeling of slow unfolding of what this is. It feels very natural, an opening up of a new role, but not something that ambushes you or jumps out of the sidelines at you. It's something that feels very natural. They're asking you to embrace your reluctance, embrace your ambition, embrace the feeling of moving forward, and get out of your head and stop trying to overanalyze everything, telling yourself you're stuck when you're not. Stay centered in that heart space as you start letting go of a few of those little things that are still tied on in that root chakra, because that's what leads to that sense of liberation. And again, that feeling of a new role coming forward, right? Woo! That one had some heat on it, friend. Stephanie, thank you so much for allowing me to read for you, friend. I appreciate it. Also very true and relevant. Thank you. There's an important wound on my throat chakra. It's blurry to me. I can't see it. It's blurry. So that makes sense. And, you know, I don't know what it is, but I can definitely see it. Well, I can't see the wound. I literally can't see it. But I know what you mean, you know. Stephanie, thank you very much. I appreciate you. Lakeisha, no. Stop spamming my chat. All right, Alicia, you are up next. Come on down and say hello. You know, I feel bad when I say that, but it is incredibly distracting when someone's doing that. And it takes away from the person who actually paid for their reading, and that's why it bothers me. I want to give my undivided attention to that person, and while I do my best to do that, I am human. And if there's something that's constantly scrolling, it will pull away. It will pull my attention away because I'm worried something's going wrong. If I see my mods, the blue, I don't pay attention to it because I know they've got it. Like, they're talking to each other, they're talking to you. I don't need to read theirs, right? So, but when it's someone else's, it draws my attention and it makes me feel like I need to address it. So that's why. That's why, okay? I hate to be a jerk, but that's why. All right, Alicia, you are next. After Alicia is Tess, Jamie, Bobby, and Laura. I have gotten 2 notifications from the U.S. Geological Society now. Something about a volcano. Now, I can't open it to look at it, so I don't know. All right. Ginny next. Is that you? Is that you, Alicia? Alicia, you are up next. If your display name is not Alicia, please make sure you let me know who you are, because I'm not that kind of psychic. You know what I'm saying? You feel like you're in a... There you are, Alicia. I see you. Alicia Witch. I feel like I'm in a volcano ready to erupt. Maybe that's why my notifications went off as it's time to do your reading. Girl, what are you getting in my technology, okay? You gotta leave my phone alone. I might have to put my hair up after this. All right. All right. All right, Alicia, I'm back. Here we go. Here we go, friend. Do me a favor. Take a nice big deep breath in all the way down to your toes. And release. Drop your shoulders, and please give me permission to have access to your energy. All right, so because you told me you feel like a volcano, the first thing I saw was a volcano. So there you go, they're agreeing with you. But I feel like it might be different than what I thought it was, right? So as I come into your energy, the first thing I see is the volcano. It's followed immediately by the sensation of sitting at a desk filled with papers and books. These books are old looking, so they contain old knowledge, right? The papers are all around as if I'm taking notes and learning from this. There is a great big fat learning process that's happening in your system right now, but it feels more like a remembering than a learning something new. They're showing me a doorway having been opened recently. I don't know if you did. Okay, so the image they're giving me is of headphones on, laid back, eyes closed, listening to something that opened a doorway or opened something for you. I don't know. To me, it looks like a connection to a different version of your higher self that's having a life experience concurrent to this one, that has a bunch of learning that they are passing on to you. And this is not on a conscious level, but under the idea that we all come from a higher self, and that the higher self is outside of time. So all of the life experiences that's happening are happening at the same time. Because that is the case, you can sort of go back to the main central station and sort of download that information during your meditations once you get around the idea of not believing that it can happen, right? There's a block in there for a lot of people that make us feel like we can't do that. That feels silly. That feels crazy. But friend, it actually works. It's real and it's a thing, okay? There's a sense that you've opened this door, tapped into this, and started to pull down this information. And now there's this sense of furiously gathering together the components to bring something to the surface. This feels like it has both a metaphysical and physical component to it, meaning you will see a ripple effect in your physical environment from this. You'll see this in your physical environment, the results of this change, whatever this is. It will be there, okay? I don't know what it is, but I feel that like build up, that restlessness that you feel is because you can feel the difference in your frequency between where you are and where you're going. That's always an indication of being very close to a shift. Again, they show me the opening of the door and the like desk with all the old books and papers and stuff on it. Alicia, this is what my guides have to say in addition to everything else I've already said. Friend, you are making hella progress. Look at this, okay? Just want to say, you are making hella progress, walking into a massive state of expansion. My guides tell me listening to your intuition is number one right now, especially with the new tools that you are learning. And they're asking you to let go of those youthful emotions that tell you that this isn't real or I'm making this up. Stop it. Stop it. Delusional people are very committed. Just a reminder. My guides want you to understand you have to let go of this. This is where those truths can settle in and start to unlock something new for you, helping to make better decisions in your life experience, to guide you into a greater sense of alignment with yourself, opening up into a feeling of inner peace and harmony, and drawing together the collective components you need to help you move into a better environment. Now is the time for you to buckle down and focus on the information you're receiving, because it's bringing you a whole lot of emotional wisdom, but it is going to be 100% up to you to follow through on that inspiration. It's not just about learning the stuff, it's about doing something with it. I literally just heard a line from Joe versus the Volcano, one of my all-time favorite movies, where he's saying, I know he can get the job, but can he do the job? I know he can get the job, but can he do the job? I know you can get the job, but can you do the job? Right? Start doing the thing. I love it when they come out so quick like that. Alicia, thank you so much. Thank you, friend. Alicia says, I'm so excited for this reading. So spot on. I'm so glad that I could be here with you, friend. Thank you very, very much. All right. Tessa, you are up, and thank you so much for your patience. Tessa, you are next. Come on down. After Tessa is Jamie, then Bobby, and then Laura. Balance mobility therapy. Is that you, Tessa? Hello. Balance mobility therapy. I see you. So wonderful to see you, friend. Thank you so much for the opportunity to read for you. I appreciate it. All right. All right, Tessa, here we go. Do me a favor. Take a nice, big, deep breath in all the way down to your toes. And release. Drop your shoulders. And please give me permission to have access to your energy. All right, so when I come into your energy, the first thing I see is an image of someone. Now, I want you to understand, my guides speak in metaphors and movie scenes. This is not supposed to be a literal translation of anything. They're showing me an image of someone walking into a room with a bunch of people in it. And this is like walking into an old folks home, like into the gallery area. Sometimes you walk in there and people are just tired and slumped over, and they just look sort of sad. And there's this image of you walking into a space like this, and you bring all this yellow sunshine with you. I feel like you bring bird song and fresh breeze and yellow and all this excitement, and everybody in this room sort of perks up when you come into the space. I feel like this is an underrated part of your gift. Almost like you don't recognize this. You, my friend, are wonderful at helping to modulate frequency upward for people. On the days when you're feeling good and resonating high and flying high on that good high vibration, when you walk into a space, you help bring every person in that space up to that level. Now, it is not your job to hold them at that level, but you're merely showing them the opportunity they have to rise to this level themselves. You do this by simply being who you are. They're showing me this joyful countenance that you have, this like just yellow. I mean, they just lots of yellow. I don't know how else to explain it. It's just this joyful feel. I do understand that there may be days that are harder than others, and sometimes that's because you're taking on the energy of the people around you and not letting it go. This happens when we feel like we want to help someone, but we feel very helpless to help them. We sort of take on that energy. You can't do that. You have to have strong boundaries for yourself, especially being as sensitive as an empath as you are. I do feel like that there's I was going to say an opportunity, but it's hard to explain it. It feels like an opportunity in disguise almost. Like there's something that feels like it's not working out for you. It like you had a lot of high hopes or something around this, and it's just not working out the way you wanted it to. And it can feel very frustrating. And I feel like if I focus on it that way, it is frustrating. However, I also feel like this is an opportunity in disguise, that through this not working out, it opens a door for something better to come forward, and you're going to have to just be patient for a minute to get through it. And I know nobody wants to hear that, but that's the truth. That even though it's not working out the way you think you want it to right now, it's just opening the door for something better to come through, and please be patient as you work on that, all right? So Tessa, this is what my guides have to say in addition to everything else I've already said. The first thing is they're acknowledging this feeling of disharmony, as if something's not working out the way I want it to. And they're asking you to let go of your attachment to how you think things must work out, right? Like there's this idea of I had a plan or I had an idea and it's just not working out, and now I feel disrupted because of it. They're asking you to let go of that. The reason is because the Wheel of Fortune is spinning around and facing in your direction and bringing a different, better opportunity that's more aligned to you. One that gets you back in the driver's seat for whatever this is and moves you into a brand new horizon somewhere you've never been before. They do tell me it will take a little bit of working together with someone else or someone's else to bring this forward, and maybe that's the opportunity that's going to bring itself into the space. But once you see this, it will bring with it a sense of fulfillment, satisfaction, all the good feels, right? They want to confirm that yes, you do have a very good, strong connection to your higher self. The problem is that you tend to turn it down in favor of listening to others more often than you know you should. Your intuition is strong, it's on point. Why do you question? So they want to remind you, you are making progress, even though it may feel like things aren't working out the way you want. But once this little piece moves on, a sense of renewal is brought forward. It brings back with it a sense of enthusiasm and reaching for the thing that makes me feel the most excited, as well as a feeling of empowerment and coming back to myself. So I don't know what's not working out for you right at the moment, but there's just this feeling of wanting you to know that it'll get there. It'll get there. You have to let this little one not work out, and then it brings with it a better, I don't know, like a better aligned one. Tessa, thank you so much for allowing me to read for you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. I hope it was helpful, friend. I really do. Thank you so very much. All right. Jamie, you are next, friend. Come on down. It is finally your turn. Thank you so much. We are moving from where we are so I can grow my practice. Oh, I love that. That's awesome. That really lines up, Tessa. That really lines up. I'm so excited for you. Fantastic. Oh, I didn't even see that one. You are right. You are confirming a path I've been feeling is unfolding, and it has been for the past year. Love this and thank you. Yes, absolutely. All right, Jamie, say hello. I know you're here. I know you're here. Thanks to my mods. You ladies, I couldn't do it without you. I really couldn't. I appreciate you so very much for all of your help. All three of you that are in here. I really appreciate it. Hello, Jamie. I got you. Jamie, did you have a specific question or do you want a general reading? I just want to make sure because I feel like maybe you had something specific you want to look at. I did. I forget. This is so handy, you guys. There's Jamie. Did you have a specific question, Jamie, or do you just want an open reading? I feel like there's something gnawing at you or something you want to know, so I thought I'd ask before I just get started. After Jamie is Bobby and then Laura, so there's only 2 more on the list after this. I do still have spots available. Has 6 spots left, so if you want to get one of those, it's a good time to get on the list. Readings are $25. Venmo and PayPal are available to you. You can look me up, Consciously Erin, or there's a link in the description for this live. Guidance from Spirit in general. Okay. All right. I'll believe you. All right, here we go, Jamie. I'm going to focus in. All right, do me a favor. Take a nice, big, deep breath in all the way down to your toes. And release. Drop your shoulders and please give me permission to have access to your energy. So the very first thing I want to tell you, Jamie, is that no, you're not on the wrong path. You're on the right path. It's just that sometimes it's not as clear to you as it could be. And that comes from focusing on things outside of you. Jacqueline, I see you. The image they give me of someone sitting in a car. The car is all packed, ready for a road trip. The map is on the front seat. Keys are in the ignition, but the car is still turned off. And there's this sense of anxiety, like I'm going over a checklist in my head. Did I do this? Did I do this? Did I do this? Or what if, what if, what if, what if, what if? Something I really think is important to understand is just because there's contrast in your life does not mean that you haven't found your path or that you're on the wrong path. Lee, I see you. It doesn't mean that. Contrast is purposeful on your path to help exponentially get you to grow. Look at this. I'm talking about this, and this is what comes out, the vulnerability. It's like they're saying, we see that you feel vulnerable. We see that you're going over this checklist over and over in your mind, but we want you to understand we've got your back. It's going to be okay. Take a deep breath and try to relax. You are used to living in an environment that requires you to try to predict everything. This comes from being in fight or flight mode for a long time. If you grew up in an environment where you constantly felt like you were people pleasing or chasing after a goal you could never reach, if you had all these things, and this is not a commentary on parents, this is just a statement of fact. If you grew up in that environment, you will carry that forward into your adulthood and it will propagate itself as anxiety about things that you don't need to be anxious about. It's important to remember that you cannot plan but so far out. Mindful planning, yes, but getting too controlly over the planning, no. Because when you do that, you eliminate all the possibilities that are in the energy for you and you say it can only look one certain way. And then when it doesn't look that way, then you ruin your whole thing because you told yourself it can only look this way, right? So instead of telling yourself that you can only get to the city through one route, looking at this map, tell yourself that there are so many different routes. Getting to Chicago, I can take 355, 55, 290, 90, 295, 12, 47. These are all roads that I can take to get to Chicago. They all get to Chicago, just some are a little more scenic than others. And there's this feeling of wanting you to relax and not to be so tense about stuff. You can't control how everything's going to work out. And the more you try to, the more out of control you will feel. And that's not to say to ignore the world around you or throw caution to the wind, but to mindfully plan and allow yourself room for expansion and change as you move forward. Don't get too rigid in how you hold yourself, right? Jamie, this is what my guides have to say in addition to everything else I've already said. They want you to understand you are absolutely in a state of expansion. This is confirmation for you. You are moving forward. They want you to also understand that part of that is doing some self-evaluation and seeing where you're holding yourself up by telling yourself that your expectation, things have to look a certain way or can only be one way, right? My guides also want to confirm you have a good open space in your heart, and they're asking you to sit in that space, to not get too outside of yourself. And when the world gets loud, bring yourself back to center. Find a way to re-anchor yourself here in the center moment. This may require some reassessment of some of the things going on around you, like the idea of I'm sitting in the car waiting for someone to tell me it's okay to go. This may disrupt a tower of belief that you have around you, like the idea that I constantly have to live up to everybody else's expectations and I don't have time for me. But if you can have the discipline to actually turn the key in the ignition, if you can have the discipline to actually turn the key in the ignition, friend, you start to manifest these changes into your physical environment. There's no reason for you to hold yourself still. They want you to see the world through the lens of source, the lens you have curated. It's okay to see the world through the rose-colored glasses that you have. This opens up that route and allows new energy into that space, letting go of some of the stuff that may have held you back for a while. They tell me that there is a little bit of an ineffective team around you, and this can be in the form of people or beliefs. Like, I believe that I can't do this on my own. That's a bit of an ineffective team, and you may need to reevaluate that. What are you telling yourself that's making you feel like you can't do it? Right? You can absolutely do it. My guides are asking you to reach for your enthusiasm. Reach for the thing that helps you feel good, because that's what's going to be the best roadmap for you to follow. You have to let go of all the old heartbreak and move into something new, right? Just because something has always been one way does not mean it must always be that way either. But you have to be the catalyst. You have to be the one that starts it. Jamie, thank you so much. Thank you, Jamie. I appreciate you. I hope it was helpful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Bella, I'd love to read for you. Readings are $25. Bobby, you are up next. Let me just update the list real quick. Bobby is next, and then Laura, then Jacqueline, Lee, and Melinda. I still have 3 spots left, but only 3 spots. So Bobby, Laura, Jacqueline, Lee, and Melinda. Thank you, Bella. Thank you, Billy. Don't make it gross. All right, Bobby. Hi, Bobby. So, fun story. Bobby, my daughter's name is Robin, but we named her Robin with the intention of calling her Bobby because my father-in-law's name was Bobby. He died before we were married, and this was kind of our way of bringing him into the family a little bit more. And she was born, and the only person who calls her Bobby, she has 2 people. My son calls her Bobby, and my niece calls her Bobby, and that's it. Everybody else calls her Robin. And I just thought it was really funny that that was our intention, and it just didn't happen that way. Super interesting, right? All right, Monica, I see you, friend. You are on the list. I only have 2 spots left. All right, Bobby, I got 1 more. All right, here we go. Ooh, Bobby, do me a favor. Take a nice big deep breath in all the way down to your toes and release. Drop your shoulders. And please give me permission to have access to your energy. I'm going to say something. I know a lot of what I say can be viewed as controversial. Okay, I'm aware. But Bobby, I'm going to tell you something, and I can only tell you the truth of what I'm receiving. I'm not asking you to believe it if you don't feel it, but I'm telling you what I'm seeing. When I look at your energy, the very first thing they showed me was outer space. The feeling of all the stars, right? But it wasn't that I was observing it, I was in it, right? I was part of this. This is a very strong indication for me that you have some sort of what I tend to call starseed energy. That does not mean that you don't belong here, that it's a mistake that you're here, that you didn't choose to be here, not at all. It just means that what I'm seeing is that your higher self you know, all of our higher selves have all these incarnations going on, right? I think the majority of incarnations for your higher self is outside of the earth school. It's not here. And sometimes when I see this, it can reflect in people like a sense of I don't belong where I am, or a longing to be home when you don't know what home is. This shows up a lot with people that I see this energetic signature with. Again, it doesn't mean that you are in the wrong place or that you didn't choose to come here. Not at all. I just feel like maybe you're aware of this frequency that's kind of shared between a couple different versions of your higher self. I also feel like they're showing me a big, strong connection to the etheric realm. This, for me, with a lot of people, tends to manifest like being able to connect to a channel or to tap into non-human intelligence, something in the etheric realm outside of just cards and things down here on earth. Something up there is also an open channel. Like maybe you can tap into other versions of your higher self, having other incarnations. I don't know. I just can see that this connection is there. Your chakras are open. They're all communicating from what I can see. There's a little bit of wobble in the lower three chakras, your root, sacral chakra, and solar plexus. When I see a wobble here, it's usually because there's a lot happening in your physical environment, and it's drawing your attention away from the upper three chakras. I don't necessarily feel like it's out of balance. I just feel like maybe this is, you know, your reminder not to let things get the best of you kind of feeling, all right? All right, Bobby, this is what my guides have to say in addition to everything else I have already said. My guides are acknowledging a feeling of restlessness in your energy as well as a feeling of expansion in your root. This is where that wobble might be coming from. The restlessness that you feel is because you're closer to where you're going than where you are. And I also feel like this connection to whatever it is up in the stars that you have is part of that resonant field that you have. My guides want you to understand, though, that this restlessness you feel is because you're closer to where you're going than where you've been. There's a transformation on the horizon for you and a brighter future. The butterflies in the picture indicate that there is transformation that needs to happen. This the throat chakra comes forward to let me know this has a physical manifestation, meaning this will show up in your physical environment in some way. How that will show up for you, I have no way of telling you because it's not yet here, but they do tell me it has a physical reflection, this change that you're going through. They want to acknowledge that you are actually making progress, even if you don't feel like you feel it every day. And they want to remind you that the more you reach for your enthusiasm, the more you're going to feel the inspiration. And the inspiration, notice the sky, just saying, the inspiration is what's going to call you forward. Again, just a reiteration that you are manifesting these changes into your life environment. I feel like I want to tell you that it's okay to embrace this version of you that you might think other people think is crazy or something like that. Right? There's this feeling of just wanting to tell you it's okay to embrace that it's not misplaced. It's just you picking up on something that maybe was not like really tuned in your frequency before, but now you're picking up on it. And that sense of being a starseed, again, doesn't mean that you're not here purposely or you're here on accident. You're here on purpose. But I can understand why you might be feeling that feeling of, I don't belong here or something. Bobby, thank you so much for allowing me to read for you. I appreciate it, and I hope it was helpful. I only have one spot left. Colin, I see you. Bobby, thank you so much. Hi, Raylene. Welcome. Yes, Colin, I got it. All right. Laura, you are up next. Come on down and say hello. Laura is next, then Jacqueline, Lee, Melinda, Monica, and Colin. I only have one spot left. Please be patient with me as I make my way through the list. Remember that the replay will be available to you on my YouTube channel after the live is over. Hello, Laura. I see you. Hello, hello. I do have 2 free classes available through my school platform. If you're interested, you should go check it out. All right, Laura. That's awesome, Bobby. All right, Laura. All right, do me a favor, friend. Take a nice big deep breath in all the way down to your toes. And release. Drop your shoulders and please give me permission to have access to your energy. All right, so again, my guides speak to me movie scenes and metaphors. Laura, when I come into your energy, the first thing I see is someone walking on a path in a forest, okay? So it feels like nighttime, it's dark. I'm not scared, but it's dark, right? I don't feel like I can see super clear. I feel like I trip a lot, I stumble, but I'm making my way through this forest. I kind of feel like they're trying to show me this feeling of there's many things along your path that you've done that have been indications that yes, you're on your path. It's almost like you've like undercover been on your path, right? The things you've been drawn to over the course of your life, the interests that you've had, they all have a common thread of some kind. And they're showing me that this is part of your path, right? That none of these steps that you've taken were accidental. None of these things that you've done were not on purpose. And while they may not have looked the way you would have preferred, you had an option to do it the easy way and you chose to do it the hard way. So we're just going to take accountability for that. But they also want you to understand that there's nothing that you've done that was wasted. There's no time that's been wasted. You're absolutely where you need to be right now. And that seems to be something they really want to push forward for you, that you can't tell yourself that you're behind, that you're not moving fast enough, that who's telling you this? Who are you measuring yourself by, right? Comparison is the sneak thief of joy, right? Apples to apples, friends. The only person you should be comparing yourself to is an earlier version of you. That's it. That's the only person you should ever be comparing yourself to. There's a reason, because comparison will steal your joy. It'll make you think that you're not where you actually are because you're measuring it against someone else that's having a completely different experience. Also remember, we are all individual frequency signatures. We all have individual frequency signatures. Our biofields are individual. That means that whatever manifests in your life experience has to be individual for you. It is custom made, friends. It will not fit anybody else. And if you try to fit into somebody else's experience, it's going to give you that feeling of like dissonance. I don't know where you're comparing yourself to someone else or where you're telling yourself you're falling short, but I can feel it in your energy, like you're hard on yourself about something that you need to relax about. And there's a feeling of the more you're hard on yourself about it, the further away from it you're going to put yourself. That's because law of attraction doesn't give a donkey's butt what you say. It's all about what you feel. And if you're working really hard on something, it's because you feel like you have to. That comes from a sense of lack. That's only going to get you reflections of lack. If you have a project you want to work on that project during times of inspiration, motivation, and excitement. Don't work on it just simply because you have to. That will suck all the joy right out of it. So again, this feeling of comparison is killing something in you, and they're asking you to stop doing that. Ooh, sorry, I got itch. They're asking you to stop doing that. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. So itchy. All right. Laura, this is what my guides have to say in addition to everything else I've already said. That comparison thing. You're not seeing the whole truth of something, and you're holding yourself in accountability to something that you can't possibly achieve, right? Like there's this feeling of trying to measure up against a false version of something, and they're asking you not to do that. They want you to turn towards something new. Go in a direction that feels better for you. And while this may require you to go somewhere you've never been before, they assure me that you will be successful. You just have to get through the emotion that gets brought up with it. This is going to require you to be selfish for a hot second, to focus on you and what you need, and to stay convicted when you do. Don't let someone else's inability to understand what you're doing talk you out of it. It's not their experience. They want you to understand that the gateway to this is in your creative vision, and the more you embody this creative vision, the more you will pull yourself into the experience you want to have. My guides also want you to understand that you do have a very strong connection to your higher self. You just choose not to listen to it all the time, and that's okay. Most of us do that. They also want you to understand the path you're on is literally manifesting physically in front of you. You are not in the wrong place. You haven't made a wrong turn. Everything you've done has gotten you where you are. The question is, where are you going to go from where you are? Not how did you get here, where are you going from here? Literal confirmation that the path is right in front of you. Again, confirmation that your third eye is open, you have good connection with your higher self, that you have the support that you need. Your problem is you get in your head, and then you doubt. So they're asking you to stop doing that, to turn within instead. Stop asking for so many opinions on things. Too many cooks in the kitchen and all that thing and all that stuff, right? Whew. Laura, thank you so much for allowing me to read for you, friend. I appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Laura. I hope that was helpful to you, my friend. I truly appreciate it. All right. Jacqueline, you are up next. Jacqueline is next. Come on down. Thank you, Laura. I appreciate you very, very much. It's all right. It's all right. I said it. You can love it, right? All right, Jacqueline is up next. Then Lee is up after that. Then Melinda and Monica. Those double M's are always a high five from the universe that we're doing a good job. And Colin is up after Monica. I have one spot left. That's it. Just one spot. American Abstract. Hello, Jacqueline. I see you, friend. I got you, girl. I got you. I got you, boo. I got you, boo thing. Okay? All right, here we go. Jacqueline, thank you so much for the opportunity to read for you. I need to shuffle one more time. All right. Here we go. Jacqueline, do me a favor. Take a nice, big, deep breath in all the way down to your toes. And release. Drop your shoulders. And please give me permission to have access to your energy. So Jacqueline, when I come into your energy, immediately I have that very floaty feel that I get when someone's doing a lot of work in night school, right? So again, my guides speak to me in metaphors and movie scenes. Coming into your energy, I have a very floaty feel, like I'm right on the edge of sleep and wake, right? That theta brainwave pattern, very, very prominent here. So when I get this feeling and when I see this type of energy, typically it's an indication that the person I'm communicating with is in what I call night school. This is the idea that when your physical body is sleeping, your metaphysical body, because it's made of energy, doesn't need to rest, so it's constantly leaving and coming back, but it's getting ready for something coming up. It's like learning the next steps for something. This is in preparation for a shift in your environment physically, right? You're learning what you need to know in the moment to help you get through it. Learning, trusting to listen to it is key, right? I feel like whatever this changes is relatively significant, okay? Because it feels like there's a lot of learning happening and a lot of preparation being done. As if I'm getting all my ducks in the row. They're showing me a checklist, like I'm checking everything off the list. I think that whatever this change is that's coming up doesn't feel unexpected. I want to be very clear about that. This doesn't feel like it blindsides you. I do feel like it may be a little bit more contentious than you expect it to be. I think there are things that you couldn't possibly foresee coming up during this transition. It has a very physical feel to it. So it almost feels like one of those things where you're like moving your house and your job all at the same time. It feels like a big thing coming forward. And it feels like a lot of moving parts. And it also feels like it would be very easy to get lost in all the technicalities and trying to plan for every little thing. Yeah. I can't see what it is, Jacqueline. And in this dream state, when you're in night school, it's very common that either your dreams don't make sense or you don't remember them, because what you're learning doesn't necessarily apply to where you are right now. It doesn't mean all your dreams are like this, but that tends to be more often than not, especially during this state. Don't get caught up in trying to remember something. Just again, try to flow with it. Whatever this is feels relatively large and impactful in your physical environment. I want to be very careful to say this doesn't feel like a surprise. I do not feel like you're blindsided by anything. It feels like something that's hard to get through, or has a lot of moving parts and is not necessarily, it's like walking through landmines to get through it, but on the other side of it, it opens up to a lot of opportunities, as if moving yourself across the country for a new job, something to that effect, right? Jacqueline, this is what my guides have to say in addition to everything I've already said. They want you to understand that your biggest problem with this change, this transition coming up, is going to be the doubt that you bring to the table, right? They're asking you to trust yourself and trust that you would not be drawn to and go after something that wasn't meant for you. You're trusting your intuition. This is what's going to help keep you balanced through all of these through all of this transitional change. They are confirming for me that you will come out on top from this, literally saying it twice. It's so nice. This victory card is special because it has a sense of ownership to it. I did this and I'm proud of myself. They want you to understand it brings with it a sense of mental clarity to the space, being able to see the path in front of me perhaps a little bit more clearly and having the freedom to go after it. They also want to confirm that the Wheel of Fortune has spun around and is absolutely facing in your direction, bringing in these changes into your space. They're asking you to trust and listen to your intuition as you do this, even in the face of other people maybe not understanding. You don't have to convince everybody. It's not your job, right? They're asking you to be as nice to yourself as you are to other people through these transitions, and reminding you that yes, it will take work, but you'll get there. This is part of your karmic lesson, and a reminder, karma is not about you were bad and you need to be punished. Karma is about learning balance between lessons, right? So you're not being punished for anything, but you're learning to have better balance for something. And they're asking you to just trust yourself. When this comes forward, whatever it is, they're just asking you, please just trust it. You'll get through it. You'll be okay. Just trust it. Jacqueline, thank you so much for allowing me to read for you, friend. I appreciate you very, very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. Lee, you are up next. Come on down and say hello. I am excited to read for you, friend. Night school is a big thing. Yeah, I believe it, just looking at your energy. Hello, Lee B. I love it. I'm excited to read for you. Thank you so much for the opportunity to do so. I appreciate it, friend. I got one more shuffle in here for you. All right, Lee, here we go. All right, Lee, do me a favor. Take a nice, big, deep breath in all the way down to your toes. And release. Drop your shoulders and please give me permission to have access to your energy. All right, so I got a lot of imagery, Lee, already, okay? So as I come into the space, the first thing I see is someone sitting on the couch inside their living room. Again, movie scenes and metaphors, I will get to the meaning. I just want you to understand this is what I'm seeing. Sitting on the couch in the living room, this is a very comfortable space. I feel comfortable in this area. I don't feel any sense of dread or anything like that. However, something keeps getting my attention, as if there's a reflection outside of the window that keeps like flashing in my eye. Like if you have a wind chime or something on your front porch, at certain times of day it catches the light and reflects in your house. I feel like sitting on that couch, I'm getting this reflection, and it's drawing my attention away from where I am and to the window or the door. The window or a door, doesn't matter. There's a lot going on in here, okay? So first of all, the house indicates a place of comfort, a comfort zone. You find yourself in a good comfort zone. I feel like things are working pretty well for you right now. Everything feels relatively stable, as much as it can. I mean, obviously, we all have times when things don't feel stable. Amber, I see you, friend, and you got that last spot. But overall, it looks like things look relatively stable in this area for you. Now, the thing about the flashing in the light is the sense of there's something else, like an intuition or a knowing or a feeling of there's something else, right? And it keeps getting your attention, and it's like I keep turning to look, but I miss it, right? I feel like you're at the stage where you need to get out of your comfort zone. You have to get up and go open the window to start to be able to see that there's something outside of this. Because it's outside of your comfort zone, it feels like it's taking a while to get you to follow through on it. I see this with people who are starting to follow up on their gifts or their connection to spirit and starting to share this. It's a reluctance to step outside of that. If you had a particularly strict upbringing, going outside of what you think you know you have to do, all of these things can be part of that. But I want to say that I very clearly can see that there is something that's trying to get your attention that's outside of your comfort zone and wants you to get up and follow through with it. I can feel the sense of like, I'm very comfortable here. Why would I, why would I do that? But again, no growth can happen in the comfort zone. That's why it's comfortable, right? All right, Lee, this is what my guides have to say in addition to everything else I've already said. They want to confirm for you that your comfort zone is being tested. This root chakra is being brought up to let you know that in order to expand, you have to stretch outside of the boundaries of what you currently know. That means your comfort zone. If you plant a tree in a pot, it will only grow large enough to accommodate the pot. You have to put yourself into a bigger environment. My guides tell me that I know that you may be a little bit worried about this. Maybe other people are telling you it's a bad idea, or you've had an experience where things didn't work out the way you wanted them to. But what my guides want you to understand is that you are literally walking into or being invited to walk into the next phase of your awakening experience. This is what's the shiny thing trying to get your attention outside of your comfort zone. What does that look like? It means getting up and following through on the inspiration, no matter how small you tell yourself it is. If you feel like going to the crystal store, go to the crystal store. Let go of the idea that when you go there, something dramatic has to happen. Maybe breaking you out of your routine was the thing that was dramatic that had to happen. Nisba, right? My guides want you to understand that there's going to be people around you who don't understand what you're doing. They don't get it. That's okay. It's not your job to prove it to them. Just remember that, okay? This is an opportunity for you to step outside of your comfort zone, to walk into something that feels like a new beginning. You're going to have to let go of the inner conflict that you're holding on to that's keeping you from taking that step, and allow your third eye to reach you and listen to what it tells you. This brings forward a sense of authenticity, a feeling of stepping more truly into who I am and embracing the bigger part of myself. Ooh, Lee, thank you so much for allowing me to read for you, friend. I appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope that was helpful, my friend. I've been live for 111 minutes as I finish up your reading, and it was actually on 11 seconds. So you can go back and check the counter. Just want you to know. Lee, thank you very much for allowing me to read for you. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope it was helpful, friend. All right, Melinda, you are up next. Hi, Melinda. I see you, Melinda Beck. I got you, friend. After Melinda is Monica, then Colin, and then Amber, and that will be the list for today. Make sure that you please set your notifications if you can. I don't know why some people have trouble turning notifications on and some people don't. It's really weird because it's not on my end. So if you can, turn notifications on. I will not be here tomorrow, probably. Likely on Thursday. I don't know. It's hard for me to say. All right, Melinda. I keep forgetting that it's only Tuesday. All right. Here we go, friend. All right. Do me a favor. Take a nice, big, deep breath in all the way down to your toes. And release. Drop your shoulders, and please give me permission to have access to your energy. Melinda, when I tap into your energy, my whole body is vibrating, friend. It feels to me like you're standing right on the edge of something pretty monumental. I feel like this feels unexpected in your energy. It doesn't feel bad. I want to be very, very clear. It is not a feeling of dissonance. It's a feeling of resonance. It's a feeling of, it's that feeling of being on a road that's under construction, that rough ride on the road, and you're on that for a long time, and then all of a sudden you hit the smooth patch and it just drops down and gets smooth. That's the feeling, okay? As if there's been a lot of bumps, right? And things just suddenly smooth out, and it feels almost unexpected. It feels unexpected, not almost. It feels unexpected. And unexpected in such a way that makes me feel like I'm questioning it. Is it real? Is it really happening? Did that, all that sort of feeling. I think this is pretty soon in your energy, and I do feel like it brings itself forward in the presentation of an opportunity that you never expected to happen. Never expected to happen. Like the idea of someone that you really look to for information, someone that you would love to have as a mentor, but you've never reached out to them, you've never said it to anybody, you've never even put it out there to anyone that you know of, but that person reaches out to you. Has that sort of feeling. Very unexpected, but highly charged with frequency and alignment and resonance and attunement and all the happy words that go along with ascension. Whatever this is, I cannot see it. It feels very close in your energy though. So I can't imagine it's very far out. Just saying. All right, Melinda, this is what my guides have to say in addition to everything you've already said. Remember how I said it feels like that person that you admire finally reaching out to you, even though you never said anything? Oops, sorry, wrong way. That's my mistake. This is the card that came out for that, telling me that there is a partnership brewing for you. I am not saying it's romantic in nature, but what I am saying is it's a support that helps you take another step forward. My guides tell me this leads to a sense of joyous occasion and celebration in your energy, and they're asking you to trust your intuition, that it will absolutely lead you down this path if you allow it to do so. That means not talking yourself out of it just because you don't have proof of it, right? My guides tell me that you are receiving a lot of good emotional wisdom from your higher self, and that it brings forward this new role, whatever this looks like. I understand that there's a little bit of disharmony in your energy around the idea of going after this or accepting this or bringing this forward, but it's only because you've told yourself it was impossible for long enough that you started to believe it. Contrary to strong belief, you have a very strong third eye, and it's always offering you insight, but it's like the outside world gets very loud and you struggle to hear that. My guides want you to understand that you are the one that's going to make the choices to move forward through these changes, and they're asking you to take your time with each choice that you make. 111 likes in the room as I say this. They want you to take your time as you make these decisions moving forward, because it will affect things, absolutely. But it feels like something really exciting. I don't know what it is. Feels unexpected, but exciting. I know that may not be helpful, but that's the best way I can describe it. Melinda, thank you so much for allowing me to read for you, friend. I appreciate you very, very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I hope it was helpful. All right, Monica, you are up next. Goodness gracious. People, man. People be peopling today, don't they? People be peopling today. I'm going to change my frequency on my little personal frequency device. Let's change it and see what comes in. Let's change it to the frequency of aura cleansing. All right, we're going to turn on the aura cleansing frequency. It is being emitted right now through here, right? Aura cleansing. Take a deep breath and allow it in. Monica, you are up. Come on down and say hello. Monica, come on down and say hello. Thank you so much, Krim. I appreciate that. They don't give me the frequency number. They don't give me the frequency number. This is called the AHA Halo device. I have a link for it in a couple different places. I don't think I have it on here. But if you watch my video from this morning, my Schumann update, the link for it's in the description of that video. It's a personal frequency device that I use. Hello from South Louisiana. All right, Monica, say hello, friend. You're welcome. I am excited to read for you. Come on down and say hello. Monica is up. Then Colin and Amber round out the morning. I'm very excited. I'm so glad you guys have been here with me. Thank you so very much. Well, thank you, Melinda. I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm happy to be here. It's a real pleasure and a privilege to be here. Hello from Oregon. Monica, I got you. Monica McFarland, I see you, my friend. Monica and Kyle McFarland. Okay, love it. All right, Monica, here we go. Do me a favor, take a nice big deep breath in all the way down to your toes. And release. Drop those shoulders and please give me permission to have access to your energy. Monica. All right, so when I come into your energy, the first images I got a rose. It was a blood red rose. I feel like the color blood red is important, okay? I don't know why yet, but they keep bringing that up. Rose red, they say, blood red, rose red. Something about the color red and roses is very prominent in your energy, okay? As I start to push into your energy a little bit, I get a lot of fire in your energy, a lot of base fire, a lot of root chakra fire, okay? So sometimes when I see this pattern of energy with people, it tends to make that person appear I don't know the right word. People either tend to like you or hate you. You know what I mean? Like, and not everybody with this energy signature is like this, but a lot of the people with this energy signature tend to either really resonate or really not resonate with people. And it can be hard because that person then tends to question themselves about what they're doing wrong, that person doesn't like me or that person doesn't get along with me. Friend, you're purposeful in the way that you are designed, right? You designed this version of you for a purpose. It's like being a catalyst, right? There's a lot of people that you come across, you catalyze them, that you give them some sort of push forward in their evolution process. And often, or maybe not often, but at least sometimes this may come in the form of conflict, disagreement, or pushing against. It's only because this is just how your energy is built. Friend, you are a change maker. This is what your energy looks like. I'm sure that there's a lot of people around you that constantly want to argue and disagree with you just for the sake of doing so. This is part of your energy makeup. You are a catalyst for many, many people. This is a very hard road to walk. A very hard road to walk because it makes us question our own sanity. Why do these people not like me? Why can't I get along with everybody else like everybody else does? One of my very best friends has energy like this, okay? And she is very much, you either love her or hate her, but she is genuine to her core and she is not going to change that. And I miss that she's moved away, you know? But this is kind of what your energy feels like. And I just want you to understand that there's nothing wrong with you and there's no reason for you to make yourself less to make someone comfortable in their discomfort. You are a catalyst and you come and you bring the fire and you help light that fire under a lot of people and help them grow in ways they couldn't have grown without you. And that's a gift that not a lot of people have, and I think you need to understand that, okay? Monica, this is what my guide has to say in addition to everything else I've already said. You are a truth seeker and a catalyst for a lot of people. And I understand that sometimes that can shake your belief in yourself and what you're receiving. This is all part of your next phase of your awakening experience, is embracing this part of yourself and just stepping into this, right? Don't change who you are for anyone. Never make yourself small to keep anyone else comfortable in their own discomfort. That discomfort is a choice that they have. You don't have to live there. My guides also want you to understand that you have a lot of inner strength, but right now your insecurities are pulling on those strings and it's making you question things. When that happens, it's asking you to turn back to your third eye and your intentions and your intuition. Get back to your meditative practice, ground yourself, reconnect yourself to who you truly are. This is where your intuition will get louder. This is where you'll be able to see more clearly the direction in which you are going, and you will draw to you the cooperative components to help you do this. This may or may not be about a romantic partner, but it's about feeling supported. It's about feeling seen and loved where you are. There's a lot of mental clarity to be offered to you, but again, the idea that you have to stop letting people tell you that you need to change who you are, and instead reach for the thing that helps you feel most enthusiastic. This lesson, this is a hard karmic lesson in self-sufficiency. A hard karmic lesson in self-sufficiency, because it brings up all of the vulnerabilities. But what's happening is you are learning to draw together the cooperative components that will help you make the changes that you need for your energy. And I'm not trying to reduce it at all, but it's all very purposeful. All very, very purposeful. Monica, thank you so much for allowing me to read for you. I appreciate you very, very much. And I hope it was helpful, Monica. Thank you, thank you. Colin, you are next. After Colin is Amber. Colin, you are next, and after Colin is Amber. Hello from sunny California. If your display name isn't Colin, make sure you let me know who you are. Okay. Thank you, Monica. I appreciate that. Yes, if your display name is not Colin, you have to make sure you let me know who you are. Colin is next, and then Amber is rounding out the list for the morning. Good thing my tummy is getting grumbly. It's almost lunchtime. Hey, Colin, I see you. All right, friend. All right, Colin, here we go. All right, do me a favor. Take a nice big deep breath in all the way down to your toes. And release. Drop your shoulders, and please give me permission to have access to your energy. All right, so again, my guides speak to me in movie scenes and metaphors. Colin, when I come into your energy, I have this sense of weight on my shoulders, of heaviness on my shoulders. And I find myself in like a in an office where like the blinds are drawn and it's dim and dingy, and I feel out of place in here. It's almost like I'm looking around and thinking to myself, how did it get like this? There's this sense of having something in your life that you used to really enjoy, you used to really love it, you look forward to it, something, and maybe it's a job or a profession, but that it's turned more into work, and it's sort of taken all the color out of it for you, and there's a sense of having locked away creativity or put creativity to the side in pursuit of something else. I just feel very much, Colin, like there's a dissonance between where you find yourself and where you intended to find yourself. As if you started out with something that was very inspiring and creative and nurtured a good spirit in you, and over time it slowly changed into more of a job, right? And it stopped being so fun. And now you may find yourself at a place where you feel stuck and you don't know what to do, and you don't know how to get out of it, and you don't know if you want to get out of it, and there's all these questions sort of floating around in your head, and this unwillingness to take a step in any direction because what if, right? I don't necessarily feel like it's about leaving where you are. I think it's about remembering why you are where you are and allowing yourself to have that sense of creativity and freedom and fun with what you do again. And I know that that can be hard to do, especially if it has something to do with a professional job of some kind. But I can guarantee you that whatever it is that you are working on, if you can tap back into that creative side, it will give you back a sense of momentum and potential in your energy. I don't necessarily feel like you're stuck so much as you stopped moving. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a difference. There's nothing that's holding you there. You're holding yourself there. I just feel like you have to stop focusing so much on the pieces that don't feel like they fit right and focus on the pieces that do feel like they fit right, and then try to expand from there. That gives law of attraction something to sort of work with and bring to you. They're showing me like bags under the eyes, like maybe you need to get some sleep. It's almost like you're worrying about something and you're putting a lot of energy into something that used to be fun. And they're saying you got to get back to that. And I don't know if this is a job, if this is a relationship, if this is, I don't know what it is. But the feeling of this used to feel better and I don't feel good here now. But I'm not quite ready to either walk away or give up. You got to go back and find the reason you started to begin with. That's what it's trying to remind you of, okay? Colin, this is what my guides have to say in addition to everything else I've already said. Literally confirmation on the first card. They're asking you to remember why you started doing what you're doing and to get back to that. That you will pull yourself through this and things will work out okay, but you have to let go of the insecurities that come with maybe not living up to all these arbitrary goals that you've either given yourself or someone else has given you. It feels like you're working to achieve something, but it's always moving away from you, okay? They're asking you to get a little more centered in your heart space. That means rebalancing with who you are. They also want to remind you that whatever financial aspect about this that you're worried about, you got to stop worrying about it, because all you're doing is giving law of attraction something negative to work with. Stop. I'm not telling you to bury your head in the sand, not by any stretch of the imagination, but don't make your bills the topic of your dinner conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like, focus on something that feels a little bit better. This is where you're going to start to be able to perceive and feel a greater sense of progress, is once you get out of your head a little bit, right? My guides tell me that you lost this feeling of authenticity that used to be there, and when you get it back, it brings forward a pretty large transition. This is the Death card saying that old boring version is trying hard to die away and bring forward this technicolor version for you, but you have to let it go. This leads to a feeling of victory in the space and celebration, a sense of ownership to it, as well as a feeling of walking into whatever the next phase in your awakening experience is. But again, it's this feeling of needing to get back to the fun or the joy or the, celebration, whatever it was that you had that this kind of got away from. They're asking you to re-embrace that. $11:11 on my clock as I finish that reading. Woo, Colin, thank you so much for allowing me to read for you, friend. I appreciate it. Oh, holy cow. That one brought a lot of heat with it. I hope that was helpful for you, friend. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, appreciate it, appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Ooh-wee. All right, rounding out our morning, last but never least, we have Amber. Come on down, Amber, and say hello. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Hi, Amber. I'm so excited for you, too. I love the rocket ship. Awesome. I'm trying to let this heat out. Give me just a second. Ooh, I can feel that frequency change. Ooh, I can definitely feel that frequency change. I love it. All right. It was this, friend, but thank you. All right, Amber. I'm so excited to read for you, Amber. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you for your patience, your time, your trust, and everything else. Please remember that this replay will be up on my YouTube channel as soon as the live ends and processes. I will get it to you as quickly as I possibly can. All right, Amber, here we go. Do me a favor, friend. Take a nice, big, deep breath in all the way down to your toes. And release. Drop those shoulders, and please give me permission to have access to your energy. Amber, when I come into your energy, the first color I saw was the bright, the soft pink of the high heart, but it was immediately followed up by deep green of the heart. Friend, you are some sort of healer. Now, in the spiritual world, there is a lot of ambiguity between things. There's not a lot of clear definitions, and a lot of things cross over, right? There's a lot of people I know who don't see themselves as healers, but they do a lot of healing just through their daily lives. The interactions they have, the conversations they foster, the space they hold. This is the healing properties. Should you choose to dive in and take this further, you absolutely could. You have very active chakras in your hands, so maybe you're already doing Reiki or something like that. I don't know. And it's not that you have to do just Reiki, right? Healing comes in many different forms, but your energy is conducive to being conductive for that type of energy. That said, I want you to understand that just by your simple daily practices of being kind and staying as centered as you can, you help a lot of people. There's a lot of conversations that happen that I don't think you realize the impact of, or the ripple effect that they have. Again, a sense of wanting to encourage you that if you wanted to look into taking this healing to the next step, you should do that. It doesn't mean that it has to be just Reiki. Reiki can be a great foundation to teach you how energy works for you, with you, all those things, but it's not necessarily the end all be all. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like if you could sort of embrace that there's an opportunity for you, like to step into this bigger role. I don't know specifically what that looks like, but I do know that you'll find your way if you stop trying to fit into something someone else has already created. And also I want you to think about what you turn to during your greatest time of transition, because that's where you're going to have the most confidence, is with that tool. Amber, this is what my guides have to say in addition to everything else I've already said. The Wheel of Fortune is spun around and is absolutely facing in your direction, my friend. Change is afoot. There's this feeling of wanting you to embrace the idea of being a healer, even though that may not look like healer. It's still healing people through the conversations you have, the stories you tell, the space you hold. This is absolutely the next phase in your awakening experience, and they want you to understand that the more you embrace your creativity, the more you allow this to come forward. They want to confirm you have a good, strong, and stable base in that heart space, but protect that. You cannot be sick enough to make someone feel better. You cannot be broke enough to make someone feel wealthy. You have to have boundaries, and you have to understand that you cannot compromise yourself to make someone else feel better. You have to stick to your authenticity. This is what's going to lead you forward and give you the greatest path in that spiritual side of things. My guides are acknowledging that there is a lot of chaos going on outside of you, and they're asking you to turn towards your tools to help you pull together things as you take this next step. But they're absolutely confirming that this is the Fool saying it's time for you to take a step out into this next expansion. Where do you want to go? Make some good decisions about the things you want to learn about and follow through with them. And that's where that new role comes from. Right there, Amber, you're right there. Amber, thank you so much for allowing me to read for you. I hope that was helpful, friends. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You're a massage therapist. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, friend, for allowing me to read for you. I appreciate it. Thank you to my mods, Chrissy, Meta, and Like a Mom. You ladies have been awesome. I couldn't do it without you. I appreciate you. I look forward to seeing you guys here again at some point later this week. I'm not sure when exactly, but keep an eye open. There are private sessions available to you through my website, ConsciouslyErin.com. I have a school platform. I have a Patreon platform. There's so many ways to learn from the information that I have. It's just up to you if you want to do it. Please do not hesitate to reach out if you need something. And again, thank you so much for being here with me today. I really do appreciate it. And I'll see you guys a later day.